Welcome back to another video. Back again for more Vlogmas goodies. Today I wanted to chat about raw in colder climates or raw in the winter. This is a topic that I talk about every single year, so we can't have a Vlogmas without talking about this topic. So let's get into it in this video. Thank you again. Welcome back to another video. I'm excited to talk about this topic because, like I said, I talk about it every year. And this time I have a little different kind of an angle. So we're gonna go through the tips that I've learned, but I wanna talk about something else too in this video. So stay tuned. But before we begin, don't forget, you can support us by grabbing any or all of our ebooks. There's over 700 awesome raw vegan recipes in there, including the Let It Snow ebook, which is a new one that I just released. And it talks about my first 5 years as a raw vegan in Canada, where I was living in really cold winters, sometimes down to -40, and I made it work, but I've got my tips. I'm gonna share some of them in this video, along with the different perspective that I wanna add to this video, but that book is in there too. All of the ebooks are 40% off. The code is RAWFOOD40, so if you wanted to, head on down to the description and enjoy some ebooks. So let's chat a little bit about winter, and it's funny, I'm wearing a sweater in the middle of the desert. It's not super warm, but the sweater's keeping me nice and cozy. And plus it's December and I'm filming these. I love living in the desert. I am so in love with this place. I'm glad that I live here, and not to say that I didn't love Canada. I did, but I need the desert. I need the warmth, and I like to be cozy. So I like to wear sweaters in the desert. But yeah, it's not as hot as you might think looking at this video. I am actually at perfect temperature wearing this sweater. But yeah, let's get into this winter topic. So the twist that I wanted to add to this is that it doesn't matter what season and what climate and where you are, because what it boils down to is your desire. Really, that's all it is, and your determination to make this work. A lot of people feel like it's easier to do raw when you are in a tropical climate, or it's summertime and there's more fresh fruits and vegetables available. And yes, obviously this can make it easier, but it really depends, because summertime comes with its own challenges. Yes, winter can be challenging, sticking with a raw diet, but summer can be challenging as well, because you've got vacations and barbecues and patios and weddings and birthdays and road trips and all kinds of weekends, and it's sunny, it's nice, and we want to play and have fun, and we typically still choose habitual choices when we are adventuring and doing those fun things and stuff. So yes, winter has its own batch of challenges. So does summer, so does spring, so does fall. It doesn't matter what season or where you are. It really boils down to your intention. What is your goal, and how much do you have a desire? What are your reasons? Why are you choosing this? And if you really want to be raw, it's going to be really easy. The thing is, we are fighting ourselves. And if we just find the desire and the focus, and if we want to be raw, we can do it easily. Yes, again, like I said, there are always going to be challenges, like the availability of certain foods. If it's actually cold outside and you come in after shoveling the walks for 2 hours and you're cold, it's going to be cold. There's some things that are going to be challenging, but really we're talking about the mental side of things. It's only challenging because we make it challenging. Because somebody can have the same challenges but still make it work. For example, when I was in Canada, for the first 5 years of my journey, I made it work because I wanted it enough, and I enjoyed how I was feeling on raw. I was getting the abundance that I needed. Obviously not as much as I get here, but just with time I discovered new foods that I loved that were raw, and I just expanded my variety. But when I first started, I made it work because I wanted it to work. So that's the angle that I wanted to share in this video. We're gonna go over a couple other tips that you can do. Again, these are in my Let It Snow ebook, 40% off, code RAWFOOD40 if you're interested in that. But the number one thing that I would say for making sure that you can get through winter or even summer, it doesn't matter what season, because these are all typical challenges, is eating enough. When I was restricting my calories, under eating, skipping meals, that kind of thing, I found that it was a lot more difficult to stay raw because I was always cold, or I was lethargic, or I was tired, or I just wasn't getting enough fuel and nutrition to keep my internal furnace burning, so to speak. So if you're eating more and you're giving your body those calories that it needs, then it doesn't have to downregulate your metabolism to make up for the energy that you're not giving it. So we should make sure that we are eating enough so our furnace is burning properly. That's top. I would say that totally changed my perspective of the climate thing, because I used to be freezing cold in the summertime when I would be restricting my calories to lose weight or something. In that diet culture mindset, I would always be cold even if I was eating cooked food. It didn't matter. It didn't matter that it was hot outside. I would feel cold because I was restrictive. So it doesn't matter the season. Got to make sure that we're eating enough. The second thing I would say is to use like appliances that can warm things up, and it can still be raw. Again, not raw is law kind of thing, but if you want it to be raw and you enjoy the raw food, then just use your blender, your high-speed blender. You can blend a soup on high for about 1.5 minutes, and it naturally warms it up from the friction of the blades. And the magic temperature obviously is 115 degrees Fahrenheit, but obviously you can give or take a couple degrees there. But you can measure the temperature if you want to. If you want to geek out on it, you can. But that's basically the raw temperature, and you can blend in a high-speed blender to get that temperature. You can warm things up by just putting them in a dehydrator. If you can warm up bowls as well, because if you make a soup in the high-speed blender and it's slightly warm, if you put it in a cold ceramic bowl, then it's going to get colder faster. But if you put it in a warm bowl that you've warmed in the dehydrator, then the soup is going to stay at that warmer temperature longer. So that's another bonus too that you can do. The third tip I have is to add more spices to your diet and other fresh herbs or dried herbs that stimulate circulation. This is really going to help with the circulation and the warmth factor, because you are obviously stimulating your circulation. So cayenne peppers, hot peppers, cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, those are some as well. Rosemary stimulates circulation. There are a lot of herbs and spices that you can add to your meals to help with that, on top of the other aspects like eating enough and using the Vitamix. Like if you eat a large soup, blended in the Vitamix with some hot pepper, you've got 3 different ways that you can enjoy that satiation in the colder months. So there's those. Obviously, we've got exercise. If you're feeling cold, get up and do 100 jumping jacks or 50 squats or something like that. It'll warm up. It'll be easier to warm up. You can jump on a trampoline, cozy up in sweaters. You could even make tea. Again, remember, raw is law, doesn't have to apply. We don't need to be 100% pure and perfect. If you are eating a lot of raw food and you have a tea, it's not the end of the world. It's totally okay. You're doing so well, and you should be proud of yourself. Feel worthy. If you feel like you are restricting yourself and you find that it's super challenging because you're restricting yourself, really have to take a step back and ask ourselves, why are we doing this? What are the reasons? Do I really want to be doing this? If the tea helps you to eat a big giant salad for dinner and you're eating way more fruits and vegetables because you're allowing yourself to have some tea, have some tea. I personally don't do teas, and not because I don't like them or I think they're bad or whatever. I just don't do teas because I'm not a tea person. I've tried multiple times to be a tea person, and I really want to be, but I forget the tea, and then it gets cold, and then I don't really want to drink it. So I will probably continue to try. I don't mind cold brew just because I drink water anyways, so having a little flavor in the tea with the herbs can help. But you can get circulation stimulating herbal tea blends. You can make your own. You can dry your own herbs at the raw temperature and use warmer water and just let it steep longer if you wanted to. There's so many different ways to do it, but remember, as my message is, always do it because you want to, not because you have to, or you feel like if you do it, you're a bad person or you failed or whatever. We don't want that mindset. We want an abundant mindset out of desire and true want to eat raw foods. That is the most freeing way to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please click like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we've got our meal planning app right now available. It's $5 a month or $50 a year if you want to use it. It generates for you a meal plan every week, 5 days. You can add day 6 and 7 out of the recipes that we have in there. The recipes in there are, for the most part, different than the ones in the books. There are a couple in there that I've been adding. There's new recipes added every single month on the first of the month, so you can enjoy new recipes in your meal plans. And whatever meals that you plan for the week, it generates a grocery list. So all you have to do is log in and go to the grocery list and just buy everything on the grocery list, and you'll be able to make everything that is on your plan for the week. It's got breakdowns of carbs, fats, and proteins for every meal and every day that you plan out. It's a really cool app. I hope you guys enjoy it. Those of you who are using it, it's definitely something awesome that I'm so happy to be a part of. So if you want to go grab that or experience it, it's at www.rawfoodromance.com. The link is in the description box below, along with the link to our ebooks with the 40% off code RAWFOOD40 if you're interested in those. Thank you again for joining me. We'll be back again tomorrow for another video. I love you guys so much, and fruit on.